you look at corporations, why haven't we seen there's awareness training, but
Sure.
that's training. That to me is like sexual harassment training. It's like it's what not to do, hygiene kind of a check that
Right.
you check the box, sign the manual and say, "Yeah, I did it." Okay.
Right.
Why is there not, or is there an emphasis on creating a culture of cybersecurity, which is a totally different mindset
Right.
than an awareness training?
Right. That's exactly one of the points that we in cybersecurity are trying to make. That this is baked in. And a lot of organizations think, okay, we've got technology, cybersecurity is simply a bolt-on. These are the things we have to do to check the box, to do whatever it is, when it should be stem to stern, something that is the ground up. And as I'm advising global CISOs of Fortune 100 or even mid-sized businesses, it really starts with the CEO. The C level has to be the biggest cheerleaders. It has to be a top down thing. And when you see the CEOs of the world not getting on board, or the CFOs treating nickels like manhole covers and not giving the spend that cybersecurity needs based on risk, we end up with a situation where the staff is going to follow along. They simply see, oh, well, the boss isn't doing it. Why should I? Or we allow things outside of discipline policies to actually be enforced. So shadow IT is another big one where somebody says, you know what, I'm going to go from A to B in a different way than my company tells me to because it's easier for me. And nobody's correcting that. And so that kind of creep sets in, that kind of culture sets in. But to your
Well, there's
point,
a lot of, well, if you don't let me do it my way, then you can't hold me accountable for the results. You're putting me to a result. So a sales VP, I'll just pick on them. They got a
sure.
quota, they got to make a number, and their team says, well, we need A, B, and C. And he's like, well, you know what? I have authority to sign off on that. So I'm going to put that in.
Right. But
And
then that also speaks to the lack of change management in the culture as well. So we have a standing rule in my company. Anybody, I don't care if you're the first, the juniorest person, you're 22 or you're 58, whatever you are, if you work for me, you have every right to come to me and say, Nick, you're an idiot. But you have to tell me why, and you have to give me a solution. Because if I am missing something and I can't fix what I can't see, then how are we going to get something done? If something is horribly inefficient and everybody's complaining about it and nobody actually goes through a change management process, then we get exactly what you're talking about, where somebody just goes off book, makes it easier, and then half the staff goes with it.
that's
Right.
right.
And so by virtue of that, it still has to be a top-down situation. It falls under that umbrella. And by virtue of that, it has to start with the C level. If the C level is not either putting out good change management or is ignoring the problems they've got and letting people do what they want, inefficiencies creep in and therefore vulnerability creeps in because you're introducing possibly new technology or systems or cloud to the ecosystem that you've created and secured, and now you're opening holes that you didn't know you had. And so it's a big issue that a lot of organizations have, and there are ways to correct it, but it really is top down.